97underground.com.
Hey folks, Michael Spedden here, host of The Back of the Rack on 97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide, and welcome to the 97 Underground Michael Spedden interview page, where we feature interviews with all the best local and national acts. Remember folks, The Back of the Rack on 97underground.com can be heard every Tuesday from 2 to 4 p.m. Download the free app and listen anytime, anywhere, and enjoy our interviews, folks. Remember, shop small and support local homegrown original music. Now, on with the interview. Hey folks, Michael Spedden here. Today we're going to have an interview with Alan Rueda from Stone Whiskey. The website is stonewhiskeyband.com, and I met them a couple of weeks ago over at Morsberger's Tavern in Catonsville, opening up for Enuff Z'Nuff, and we had a couple of our Baltimore area bands, Baltimore and Virginia area bands on the bill that night. We had American Jet Set, Chatterbox, and Nightwind. It was a great show for sure. And Stone Whiskey had a great set that night, really blew the doors off the place, as did everybody that evening. So it was a great time. So remember, stonewhiskeyband.com. And without further ado, here is our interview with Alan Rueda. And welcome back to the Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com, Baltimore's pure rock worldwide. Today, we have Alan Rueda, singer for Stone Whiskey. Stone Whiskey I met a few weeks ago at the Enuff Z'Nuff show, and they really did a great set. I really enjoyed them. And we have them on the show today for all of you to hear, and we'll find out everything you ever wanted to know about Stone Whiskey today in the time that we have. So, Alan, welcome to the show. It's great to have you today, bud.
Hey, thanks for having me. Appreciate you having me on the show.
Yep. So we were, just kind of talking a bit before we started recording here. And so you've been on the road a bit, doing some dates, going all across this great land of ours. How's it been?
Oh man, it's been a blast. We did 16 shows over 21 days. That didn't include first we started on the Monsters of Rock cruise, so that's kind of where everything started.
Yeah.
April 11th, we did 3 shows on that. The Enuff Z'Nuff guys were on there.
Mm-hmm.
And we basically got off the boat from Miami and drove all the way up to Baltimore and started a 3-week tour in Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And just Catonsville, where we saw you guys, where you guys were at. That was our first show. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We started there, worked our way up, Philly, Jersey, Delaware, came back down to Virginia, back down into Florida.
Mm-hmm.
2 shows there at the bottom of Florida, basically again, and then cut back up and crossed over, did 5 dates in Texas, and then a date in Phoenix, and 2 dates. We did the Whiskey a Go-Go.
Oh, great.
This past Friday night.
Good for you.
It was awesome. And then we ended it in Orange County, California, our portion of the tour in Orange County,
Mm-hmm.
at a place called at the Tiki Bar in Costa Mesa. Yeah.
Oh, great. I think the Whiskey.
Oh man.
What a legendary club, and I never got out back in my playing days. I never got out to California, but I did do New York a good bit, and I did CBGB's.
Nice.
And there's like a certain feeling that you have when you walk on that stage where you're standing where all these other legends have stood. Was it like that for you?
Oh, absolutely. Walking through the door, it was like that. You see all the things that you've seen before, that you've always kind of like, whoa, that's cool. And then you walk in the place and like, oh my God, there it is.
Mm-hmm.
So we were like on the stage, and my bass player Jim, he was like, this is the place where Jim Morrison beat himself on stage. And I'm like, I think the stain's still right there, man. I don't think they cleaned that up. I think it's still right there. So it was just kind of like mind blowing to be in that room. And to me, the even better part of it was the staff. They're just so awesome, and they're the coolest people ever. So, you're playing this legendary venue, and everybody that works there is just really cool people. So it was a lot of fun, man. And we played to a good crowd, and it was a lot. And seeing your name on that marquee in West Hollywood, it's something that you think you're like, I dream. That's one of your dreams, and that's a dream come true for us. So it was really awesome.
Yeah, I mean, you think about all the people that, again, you had stood where you stood, and it's almost it's humbling to a certain extent too.
Oh yeah, man. Van Halen, Motley Crue. I mean, just it's countless, all the iconic bands that have been on that stage.
Oh, you know it. The Doors, again, you had just mentioned Jim Morrison, the Doors, being the house band there, and then other people had too. But I mean that's just one of that's one of the rewards, with all the BS that you go through. And as we were talking before, I know the frustration, I know what you guys go through, but
Yeah.
that's got to be very rewarding.
Yeah, it makes it all worth it, man. And honestly,
Mhm.
the day to day is, you go to these great places but you really don't get to see there's no touristing thing happening where, we're getting up at the break of dawn to drive 8 hours to load in at 3 p.m. in a really
Mhm.
cool town. And then, by that time it's sound check and then we're rocking in a couple hours after that. So we hit all these great places and we get to see a lot of cool things on the road, but
Mhm.
it's mostly just driving and getting to the place just in just enough time to rock it.
Right, right. I know. I can remember too, because we have DC here. Baltimore and DC was kind of very different scenes, but a lot of the bands just were like playing them interchangeably. They're about 40 miles apart, but it's a long drive because of traffic.
Right.
But I
Yeah, exactly.
remember that drive, to get to where you need to go, New York to, it looks like you guys had a decent van to get around in.
We did, man. We got a nice Chevy van, like 7-seater that with it rolls down in the back and we were
Hmm.
pulling a trailer behind it. So, it was a very comfortable ride. And it's got
Right.
the pimp lights in the back that has all the streamers around. So, it's nice. And it was
Right.
comfortable.
Hmm.
That's really the key because there was a couple of days we were 11 plus hours, 13 hours on the road,
Hmm.
just to get to where we were going.
I
So,
can remember taking Ryder and U-Haul trucks to New York City. That was our way to get up there then.
yeah.
And we were like John Candy in Home Alone, with the
You're
polka.
all sitting in the back. Yeah.
But we had couches and we had people
Yeah, that's
coming
awesome.
with us.
Yeah.
But I mean, thinking back now, as young and dumb as we were back in those days, I'm like, it's a small miracle nobody died of carbon monoxide poisoning back there, or we didn't get pulled over for suspicion of human trafficking or something like that.
Yeah.
But it's
Yeah.
it's it, hey, it's the
I,
life.
I've seen a lot of pimped out U-Hauls. I'll say that. Like you were saying
Yeah.
with the couches, we were playing with some guys years ago in Fayetteville, North Carolina.
Hmm.
Their U-Haul, yeah, had a couch, had a bunk bed. They had like they were cooking like some stew in it and like
Yeah.
in a big pot. I'm like, what is going? I'm like these guys got it. They had a video game and a TV going on the
Hmm.
TV going on in there. I was like, okay, I can do this.
Right, right. Yeah, there's another band, the Almas, out of Wisconsin, that I've had on the show, and they've done 97 Underground events too. And I'll tell you, you want to talk about a sweet ride they have. I mean, they bought one of those. It looked like one of the vans. It's like a shorter one for handicapped people, I think it
Oh yeah,
is.
yeah, yeah. I got
Yeah,
you.
and they put bunk beds in there, and they've got a
Nice.
stove, and they built it all. It's amazing. I was like,
Yeah.
that's a good side gig for you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You can, charge bands to build cool, cool
Right.
touring,
Yeah,
touring buses.
exactly. Customize that stuff.
Customize. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Well, great, great. So, well, I'm glad you had a great, successful tour. And
Yeah, man.
it looks like you've got some stuff coming up too, in the next couple of months. In July, well, you're going to be back in this neck of the woods.
Yeah,
Harrisburg isn't very far from us.
yeah. We'll be back at Dingbats in Jersey.
Uh-huh.
And yeah, we've got a couple dates in Pennsylvania. I think we're going out to Indiana too.
Hmm.
So yeah, we're trying to get back around as much as we can, man. It's
Hmm.
for me, like for us, really the key. You can put all you want. Yeah, we got a lot of videos.
Uh-huh.
We got 2 albums worth of music, but if you're not out there in
Yep.
new towns,
Hmm.
meeting new people, because people, in my opinion, get sold on the live show.
Hmm.
You can have a great library of stuff, but if you're not going out there selling them on your live performance, and
Yeah.
you can only do that so much in your own state.
Oh,
You got to
yeah.
get
Yeah.
out and really do what we did. Do 16 shows, 21 days. We did over 6,700 miles on the road.
Hmm.
So that's what you got to do to kind of get your name out there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anything you can to get your name out there. And it's an ongoing job. It's almost a full-time job.
that's exactly it. It is a full-time job. It is.
It really is. And getting the word out to people. And again, you had mentioned not just being in your own state, but you also can't rely just on friends to
Right.
show up. You
Right.
got to go out and
Exactly. They'll only show up so many times for you. I love it. Thank you for showing it. But it's like, okay, I've seen you guys like 10 times already,
right, right, right.
So this year,
Hmm.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah. But it's again, you gotta get out there, man. Put
yep.
yourself out there. I always say we gotta rock new faces and new places, That's
Oh
the key.
yeah. Hey, and the other end of that equation is the people that are like, "Hey, you still playing in that band?" Yeah,
Yeah.
well, yeah, well, we've been together 15 years. Have you been? You haven't made it
Yeah,
yet?
right.
Well,
Exactly.
yeah.
Right. Well, that's the thing too. People don't realize, people think, that all these big bands, break and like, most bands have been bands for 10 years, 5, 10 years before they doing the work, getting out there and doing the work before they get a name for themselves. So,
Hmm. Hmm.
I mean, just look at Pantera, for instance, they did, so much stuff before they broke big, with Cowboys. So you've got to get out there and do it. And you got to keep putting content out there. Because
You
people
really
get
do.
bored. People get bored easily these days.
They do. They do. They really get bored, and then you've again, it's a constant. You got to pound the pavement. You got to sell yourself. You
Yeah,
got to get out and wear out some good shoe leather visiting these venues. I
that's
mean, a
right.
lot of that can be done electronically nowadays,
Yeah,
but
right.
you still have to do, and that's one thing I think that's missing.
Oh yeah.
From those days is the face to face interactions.
And I think honestly and truly that was the greatest thing about this tour because I told the guys so many times on this tour, I'm like, we didn't meet like any bad people. We met like we were in new places and everybody there we met was really cool and they were
Hmm.
all into wanting to see live music. Now, what I did notice in the tour is like there are there's rock clubs everywhere,
Hmm.
but they're kind of like they're dying because the cities are getting bigger and they're pushing them out of town. So you see a lot of these rock clubs now kind of on the outskirts. It's not
Yeah,
we're not
yeah,
playing Orlando, we're playing whatever the Castleberry. We're not playing
right.
Baltimore, we're playing Catonsville, like 10 minutes,
Hmm.
10 miles outside of town. Just but that's where the rock clubs are these days. But it's really good to see that people are still wanting to see that because even with us with where we're from, we had probably 10 rock clubs in town.
Hmm.
Then COVID hit and we lost 8 of them.
My God.
So yeah, and that's kind of happened everywhere, but it's good to see that there's still those places, even some iconic places that are still around and doing good and have good rock shows, every week,
Oh, you're
every
you're right. Oh, COVID. God, I don't even like to think about that anymore. I
right.
took a I took a bath on COVID.
Right.
Believe me,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
just
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
all did. But I think the good part about COVID was that I mean, since we couldn't play or we couldn't perform, a lot of people just went back to the drawing board. And we kind of it was like like a phoenix like uprising of a
Right.
lot of these acts coming back out there with great new material, and it did give people a chance to let's sit down and regroup and
Yep.
come out with something killer, and a lot of
That
people did.
that's exactly why we have our first album because
Yeah.
we couldn't play anywhere.
Hmm.
So we wrote an album because we have, if you're a musician, you got to be doing
You
it.
got
So
to.
and honestly and truly it's hard to focus on writing new music when you're out there playing because you have to
Hmm.
it's a different mindset. So it's great. That was the good thing about it, at least for us, was because we got an album. We were able to record an album in that time frame.
Hmm. Right.
But
It's
yeah, like you said, a lot of bands did that. They went back to the drawing board, and there was a lot of new material coming out at that time, and that's probably the good thing about it, music wise, that came out of it, right?
right, right. I mean, I was writing a bunch of plays back then,
Right.
and
So you had
yeah,
time to
so
do it, right?
absolutely, you had a chance to sit down and reflect and bounce things off of
Yeah,
people. There was no pressure to have anything
right.
done by this certain time. Hey, we got time. Let's get it done. Make sure it's right. You know.
Exactly.
Yep. So great. Well, yeah. So you had mentioned too, your upcoming, um, you know, dates that are going to be, you had mentioned Nashville, Clifton, New Jersey,
Yeah.
PA, a couple of them in PA,
Yep.
and you're from, the Carolinas.
Right.
What other clubs are you doing on a regular basis? I know that you just did a whole bunch of them, out west and everything. Are there any places that are like pretty much your home stomping grounds that are really
Yeah, when we play in town, it's usually the Lincoln Theater. That's our kind of home stomping ground.
Mm-hmm.
Or, if we're, and then an hour and a half outside of town, Greensboro, there's a place called Hangar 1819. That's
Mm-hmm.
just it's a great place for rock music. So we do have, there's also a place called the Poorhouse in town. They're a great local venue. We got Chapel of Bones that are bringing like a lot of the metal back into town, a lot, so a lot of national metal acts. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we got 3 or 4 good venues like right around here. I'd say our home one is probably the Lincoln Theater because that's right here in downtown
Mm-hmm.
where we live, downtown Raleigh.
Right, right. I was looking at your merch on your website too. You've got some great t-shirts
Oh, thanks, man.
and for good prices too. I mean, look at you guys. This is great. I gotta hook myself up here. I think I'm gonna
Yeah,
go on
man.
and I
It's
think
funny.
I'm
The
gonna
Enuff Z'Nuff guys kept telling us our merch is too cheap. I'm like, we want more people to be wearing it.
right, right, exactly, exactly. I mean, how do you really find that? And that's a tough call right there, really finding that good balance because you don't want to. I mean, I took economics in college. You got to find the
Right,
equilibrium point, where the
right,
you don't want to overprice yourself, but on the other hand, you can't sell yourself short either. But finding that
right.
equilibrium, probably an ongoing job.
It really is. And maybe I mean, people would probably say our stuff maybe is a little under, but just with the nature, with like the standard of the business these days, because
Uh-huh.
you're seeing some of that stuff go for 30, like t-shirts going for 30, $40.
Mm-hmm.
But, for us, it's like, again, we're still, you know, recouping what we spend on it and people are wearing it. So that's really what our mindset is, we want more people coming to our shows wearing our shirts.
Right. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, that's the thing too. At what point do you can charge this amount and have a nice pile of money, or you can charge too much and have a pile of t-shirts.
Right, exactly. So what do you want?
Well,
Right. Which one do you
right.
want?
Exactly.
There
Yeah,
is a
yeah.
there is a fine balance there. And I'd say, we kind of, we're probably a little under because most of our stuff's like $20 for t-shirts
Mm-hmm.
and maybe 25 if it's multiple color front and back. But yeah, you see most of that, a lot of other bands going 40, $50 for that kind of stuff. But
Right, right. They
um
have a nice pile of t-shirts to show
right.
for it.
Yeah, right. But there's also aspects of it where, some venues will set that charge. So you have to kind of that
Hmm.
charge is what it is because it's set, you can't go under a certain price based on wherever you're playing at type of things too. So,
I see.
there's just all that kind of stuff going on.
I see. So being on the road and stuff like that, and I've been listening to your material, and again, I like it. I really do like it. We were talking about some of your videos earlier, and I've been listening to them lately to familiarize myself with you. The videos are great, but I got to tell you, you've got a hell of a voice, and
Oh, thanks, man.
you're definitely a hard rock singer, no doubt about it. How do you maintain yourself, especially doing a lot of dates on the road? I mean, you've got to have a routine or something
Yeah,
to
there's
be able to
definitely a routine.
maintain your voice. What is it? What do you anything?
Yeah, so there's, I mean, a lot of stuff really. One, you got to be healthy. You got to eat semi decently.
Hmm.
But big aspect is, I have a coach. I have somebody that showed me the right things to do with my voice so I don't blow it
Hmm.
out.
Right.
And on top of that, they have these nebulizers now that are really good to like get all your sinuses and everything, like saline stuff, and
Mhm.
just keeping it, I hate to say this word, moist and healthy is really
Yeah.
what you want. And, as long as you're doing that and keeping it strong and doing the exercises you need to do, you
Hmm.
can scream all day long if you want to.
Right. Right.
You just have to be doing it right. So for me, yeah, my biggest lesson, honestly, because I've been singing for a long time now, was somebody telling me that I was oversing, that I didn't have to do it as hard.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
that's what got me through this tour. You still have the power, you still have the projection, but you
Hmm.
don't have to push as hard as you think you do.
Right.
Um,
Right.
yeah,
And you're right. Hydration is key, and you
yeah,
gotta.
man, you got to stay hydrated.
You can't smoke. You can't
Mm-mm.
over drink or anything like that.
No,
You really got to watch it. I
yep.
mean,
Your body is your instrument.
mhm.
So and your instrument has to stay maintained and healthy.
You're right. You're right. And so I wanted to ask a couple of other questions here too.
Yeah, sure.
The band itself, a very solid lineup. I mean, everybody that I saw, great players, and
Yeah,
really, I really like what I saw and heard that night.
appreciate
Your
that.
bass player's a Gibson man. I
Yeah,
like
man,
him
he's he
already.
Yeah. Yeah, he's awesome, man. He's been in a lot of bands over the years. He's a lot of like well-known metal bands like While
Yeah.
Heaven Wept, October 31, bands from up,
Hmm.
Northern Virginia area because that's
Yeah.
where he's from. So he's a badass, man. That's all I can really say about that. His fing you see it's his fingers doing this all the time. I'm like, I don't know how you do it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
He feels that spot so good.
I saw the video with the Gibson G3, and then I saw the Thunderbird, and he's a Fender guy too.
Yeah.
I saw that in that nice that God, that was a nice Fender stack that he has too.
Oh yeah, that stack sounds so good. That's the one that we use the whole tour, and
Yeah.
it's just got such a good tone. Just such a good tone, and
I
it
know.
punches the low end punches because we actually ha had to play another.
Hmm.
I mean, with some clubs that you have to use their back line, and you can immediately tell the difference.
Hmm.
Even with like even some of the more those well-known Ampegs and stuff. I mean, you just that Fender has a low end that cuts
Yeah. Yeah.
more than others. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's a great it was a great one to have.
I look back at all the stuff that I've had over the years and the pros and cons of like all the different rigs that I've had and everything because I've had Fender, I've had Ampeg, PV.
Yeah,
There's pros and cons to all of them,
right.
and unless you want to go out there looking like Judas Priest with 1,000 stacks on
Right with the
stage,
stack,
you got to think
right.
about what you're going to take with you.
Right,
Um,
right. And
definitely.
honestly, I'm a fan of seeing the stacks,
Hmm.
but a lot of bands these days with fly gigs, they're just plugging right in. So I always love to see a band with like, I
Hmm.
want to see I want to see the amps. I want to see what you're playing through. I want to hear them cranked up.
Right, right, right. And then you got to find just the right one you're going to take on the road with you because
Right,
again,
exactly.
with limited space and it's not like you have tractor trailers full of
Right,
stuff. You've got your
exactly.
what you're traveling with, and it makes it you really got to pick and choose and think about space and everything.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, we did that. You should have seen us loading that trailer up every night. And it was different every night, but somehow we got it all in
oh yeah, that's a big
there.
that's why they teach you geometry in high school.
Yeah, you're gonna need it to load trailers later in life.
Yes, you will. Yes, you will. You
Yeah.
band guys, hey, wake up over there. I know you had band practice until 3 o'clock in the morning, but wake up. Wake up.
Right.
This is the Pythagorean theorem, and you will
Right.
need this to load your band truck effectively one day. Because
Exactly.
if you don't, if it doesn't work, then you know, you have only yourself to blame,
Right.
right?
It's just yeah, that's your you problem.
Right. But yeah, and the rest of the band is great too. You've got a great drummer. I really like that guy too.
Yeah,
Good
that's
rhythm section.
yeah, he's the guy we had with us. His name's Jason Patterson.
Hmm.
He was in a band in the early '90s called Cry Love. I don't know
Hmm.
if you've heard of them before, but they're out of North. There was probably the band that broke out of North Carolina in the '90s. They're great. Did a song called Peace Pipe. Was on
Hmm.
MTV and all that kind of stuff. He last year he was on tour with Corrosion of Conformity with Alice Cooper and Judas Priest. So he was just
Hmm.
a real asset to have on this tour. And he's just done it. He's been there and done it before. So
Hmm.
we always gave him crap because I'm like, well, you were just on the Priest tour riding the tour bus, and now you're in our van.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah.
Having to load your own gear in every night, you know.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I'm
Well,
like, I'm so sorry we downgraded, but he was great. He loved it. He loved it.
that's anywhere though. That's
Yeah.
anywhere. Yeah, I'll just give you a quick story here. So this is your interview, but I'll just tell you kind of a story to compare that with. My wife is also in the business. She's an actress, and she was in a TV show that Ridley Scott directed up in
Oh,
Philly.
nice. Nice.
And she filmed her part. It was she was a day player, 1 day gig, 1 day of filming. So she went and films. Ridley Scott is directing her. She's there with this, Sir Ridley Scott.
Yeah.
And then at the end
He's
of the
been
day,
knighted.
exactly. Then at the end of the day, after she leaves the set, she goes home. Then she's at the grocery store a couple hours later. Regular life again. It's just
Yeah.
that's the way it goes
It's
sometimes.
crazy. That's the
Mhm.
craziest thing about it because I flew in it back home at 12:30 last night and I'm like I don't know what to do with myself right now. I've been like the last 3 weeks of my life have been, stay up till 3 a.m. from loading gear out, get to the hotel, on to the next place, and rock the next town. And I'm like, what do I even do with my life right
Yeah, yeah,
now?
yeah.
Like, how do I get back to doing that again?
Right, exactly, exactly. And it's like whenever it's always exciting to book a gig or to get a shoot or something like that. But then the minute it's over, you're just back. You
Yeah.
have that back to reality. And I was
Oh
sitting
yeah,
in my
man.
office working, and I'm like, oh God, last week I was in New York, and
Right.
now,
Oh man, we were in, so we had a lot of cool things happen on the tour. So one of them, we were in Orlando, Florida,
hmm
playing that gig there. And after the show, I was talking to this guy because he had a Headbanger sh ball shirt on. I was like, "Hey man, cool shirt." I didn't like really recognize him at the time.
hmm
And then my bass player comes up to me. He's like, Dude, is that Max Norman?" And I'm like, the Max Norman that did Bark of the Moon, Dangerous Toys, that
yeah,
did
yeah.
Cool from the Wire, Dirty Looks. So I'm sitting there talking, and we play a Dirty Looks song in our set. We play all, and I'm like, it was him, and he loved it. He loved our show, and he loved everything.
hmm
And I'm like, I'm glad I knew. I'm glad I found out after the fact that he was at the show.
All right, right.
Because if I'd have known he was before that we were playing Oru, I might have been a little anxious about it,
Yeah.
but he was coolest dude ever, man. And he's like had some really cool stories about being in the studio with like Dirty Looks and Dangerous Toys, So that's, doing that and like having people like that come out to your shows unexpectedly, it's like the coolest thing. And I mean, speaking of Dangerous Toys,
hmm
when we were in Austin, Texas, the guys came out. We had Mark, their drummer, come out and hang out with us for a little bit before our Austin show. The original guitar player for Dirty Looks, who is also the one of the guitar players for Dangerous Toys, Paul Lydell, came out to our show and actually played Ruby with us on stage in Austin
Oh,
with the guitar, the Dean V that he recorded the track with in 1988.
oh man.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just like mind-blowing stuff.
hmm
And then last one was we were at the Rainbow because we were saying played the whiskey, so we actually got into LA a couple days early.
hmm
And the Rainbow has this Airbnb over the strip that's like right behind it. So,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
it's like 2 blocks down from the whiskey. So it was like perfect for us to kind of like be
hmm
there. We were hanging out in the Rainbow one night and I look up and this guy walks in and I'm like, is that Jelly Roll's drummer? And I had to like look at my Instagram just to like double check that it was him. Then I'm like, oh my God, it was Cody Ash. I went, Jelly Roll's drummer, and I went up and introduced myself, and I got to talk to him for like 5 minutes and tell him about the band and how we were playing the Whiskey a Go Go. And it was like, man, you just never know
hmm
what's going to happen, and those are some of the coolest things that happen. I'm like, now
hmm
then I'm back here in Raleigh,
Yeah, yeah.
trying to wash my clothes.
Right, 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 right.
I'm like,
Wow.
I was just in LA talking to that dude, playing with that dude, and
hmm
it's wild, man. It's wild.
It is. It is. And that's one of the things I really enjoy about, doing what I do here is the opportunity to get to speak and meet with some of these bands and, get to know what some of these folks are like. I've
Yeah.
had a number of people that I've, really looked up to when I was a kid growing up. I've had some people on for repeat visits. And it's a great thing. I really enjoy doing that. I really enjoy having conversations with people, showing people the human side of them, and really trying to help them promote themselves as well. I mean, we're
Yeah.
all in this together. We're all in the
Right.
same boat, and it's never easy.
I agree, and that's what we love everything guys like you do, man. Because if
hmm
we don't have you guys like you helping us get the word out, then
hmm
we don't. It's really not worth it. So it really is like I love that there's a community
hmm
behind it because that really is what it takes. It takes
Right.
a lot of effort of a lot of people, not just the musicians, but a lot of people that are into the music, that are helping spread the word about the music, that are playing the music on their shows.
hmm
All that matters.
Yeah.
So, um,
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, in the time we have left, I know you've got your website stonewhiskey.com. Is there anything else you'd like to add or tell us about where your social medias or anything else you'd like to bring up? And
yeah, if you want to see, check us out, our YouTube for one, follow us on YouTube because like you were saying, we got a bunch of music videos. We did music videos for every song on our first album, and we got 5 music videos for the second album. We're in the process of kind of figuring out what the next step is with those. So, you get about 55 minutes of entertainment out of our music videos on YouTube. So go check that out.
It's a treasure trove, folks.
Yeah. And we've been posting every day on the tour. So if you kind of want to know what's been going on and where we've been and what we've been doing and some of the cool places we've seen, go to our Facebook and our Instagram page and check out the reels that are on there, because we've done like a reel for every day of the tour. Just kind of, and people have, we got a lot of good feedback from it. Just people loving to see, because we took them on the ride with us, right? So, yeah, go and check that out too. It's Stone Whiskey Band on Instagram, at Stone Whiskey Band, and it's Facebook is Stone Whiskey. It's facebook.com/Stone Whiskey. So, yeah, check us out online.
Wonderful. And we will put these links in the show notes. Well, too, folks. It'll be in the show notes for the on YouTube and every place else where we post it. So, Alan, thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thanks,
it was
Mike.
a pleasure
Appreciate
to hear
it,
you all with Enuff Z'Nuff the other week, and it's a great to have an opportunity to sit down and talk to you. So, folks,
been a pleasure. Been an absolute pleasure.
StoneWhiskeyBand.com. Get out there and check them out if you haven't. Why haven't you? Get out there and do it. Folks, we'll be back right after these words. You're listening to The Back of the Rack, the Michael Spedden Show here on 97underground.com, Baltimore's Pure Rock Worldwide. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back right after these words. All right, folks, thanks for tuning in and listening, and hope you enjoyed today's interview. Remember, The Back of the Rack is on every Monday from 2 to 4 p.m. Eastern, and our replay is every Wednesday morning from 2 to 4 a.m. Eastern Time on 97underground.com, Baltimore's Pure Rock Worldwide. You can download our free app and listen anytime, anywhere. Also, don't forget our YouTube channel. Hit the like and subscribe button and allow for notifications so you'll be the first to know whenever new episodes air. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
Log on and crank it up. The station your mother warned you about. 97underground.com.